Welcome back, everybody, to His Heartbeat. Great to be here again with all of you. And you all know by now that I am very committed to nutrition and holistic health, that as we are always trying to be all that we can be for Jesus and living out our full potential, that we need sleep, we need good food, good healthy foods. We need to take care of our body. We need to take care of our spirit and our soul. And so I have brought on someone who can integrate those. Again, always love that. So welcome, Renee, to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so she's fooled me because she says she's from Texas, and I'm like, I don't know. I hear an accent different. Why? Tell us the secret. Why you have a very bizarre Texas accent?
Yes, well, partly because my mother was an English teacher and she wouldn't let us quite go into the Texas twang, but
Okay.
also because I spent 4 years in living in Wales, and I was the only American around, so they kind of affected me, shall we say.
Hmm. Oh, I totally get that. When after being in Hawaii for 9 years, I talked a lot like people from there for
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
and then not so much now. Now I say all kinds of things.
Those of us who are audible learners pick up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Well, tell us some. We are going to talk about food today and our health and nutrition. So tell us a little of your story of how you got into all that.
Well, uh, we're not going to rag on my dear sweet mother, but when I was 10, I was looking around at all my little blonde and brunette friends, and I thought they're all skinny and they're popular. And I'm not because I'm this chunky redhead. So I went home and I said, Mom, I want to go on a diet. And she said, You're a bit young for this. But she thought that if I learned how to do it then that would stand me in good stead. Except that she didn't know how to do it very well. So I didn't learn it very well. So I spent the
Mm,
next 40 years on the diet yo-yo. And I'm not
okay.
kidding. I'm not kidding. 40 years, yes. Up and down the scale.
So all different kinds of diets or
Yeah, I think there may be two that I never tried.
okay, well, and so there's I feel like there's new ones every day actually, but
Yeah.
so but when did you shift to learning more about healthy eating?
Well, when I was staring down my 50th birthday, I thought, if I don't lose this weight now, I'm never going to lose it. Now, I had lost it many times over the years, right? I'd lose
Mm.
20 pounds, 40 pounds, that sort of thing. But I always gained it back. And I thought, if I don't lose it now, I'm done for. I'll be fat forever. And I decided I would start a diet, New Year's Eve. I'm going to lose the weight this year. And that lasted for about 10 days. But I thought, no, 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 I'm going to do it. And this went on until April. And I was in my closet trying to get dressed to go to work. And I thought, oh, wow, that waistband's a little tight. Let me get a skirt. That waistband's a little tight. Let me get my fat clothes. And then I realized those were my fat clothes. And I had to wrench together my waistband and hold it with a safety pin so I could go to work. And I thought, this
Mm,
has got to stop.
mm.
So when I got home that day, I thought, okay, we'll have a look. We'll do some research because that's kind of what I do. And I found this term that I'd never heard before. And the term was emotional eating. But I knew it as soon as I saw it. I thought, yeah, that's me. So I thought, this is what I've got to work on. And I grabbed a colleague and I said, you've got to help me. And she did. And I hit my goal weight the week before my 50th birthday. And that was in October of 2012. And I've not left it.
So you got that goal weight in how short of a time?
It was, well, I had lost a little bit, but I think I had about 20 pounds left to lose.
Mm.
And um, yeah, so that was I guess about 20 weeks.
Well, it's very quick. All right.
Well, a pound a week the body's okay with that. It'd probably
Mm-hmm.
prefer half. More than that, it has to have its own little speed bumps along the way, of course.
Okay. All
But
right.
I got there and I have managed to maintain for 13 years.
So in the process now, you've written a book, and y'all, this is such a cute title. What's really eating you? I love that. What's really eating you? If you're not, I don't know, maybe that's an American phrase, and a lot of you aren't from America, so we say that like, what's bothering you? So
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
but she put that in that way. So of course, when we're not eating properly, then that bothers us too. So
Yeah,
what's really eating you? Colon, overcome the triggers of comfort eating, and that's been a lot of your focus. Now you do have a master's in marriage and family counseling. So were you
yeah.
doing counseling work before this?
My goal was actually to be a single adult or senior adult minister in a church. And
Okay.
I know ministers do a lot of coaching or counseling. And
Hmm.
I thought, I want to know what I'm doing. It just
Okay.
seemed logical to me. It did not seem that way to a lot of churches that I interviewed with. But
Okay.
um, yeah, I was going to do some counseling and then, just generalized helping people out in the church.
Okay.
When they didn't get it, I thought, okay, where else can I use these skills? And I went to
Mm.
chaplaincy. So I spent 20 years as a hospital chaplain, hospital,
Mm.
hospice, behavioral health hospital.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, it's great. You have that coaching skill as well as helping people now with um, with their eating habits. So,
Mm.
we're going to focus today on your topic, which is emotional eating. So, it's a big topic. I'm not even sure where to start, but you would know because you wrote a book. So, so we're going to walk us through here, maybe define first, not necessarily scientifically, but what we're talking about by emotional eating. I think most people know, but just so we're on the same page to start.
Sure. Emotional eating is eating for any reason other than hunger.
Mm.
I mean, you could be celebrating. You could be taking the plate from your grandmother who made this just for you. You could be complying with people around you, but you're doing it for likely for emotional reasons. You could be sad, mad, frustrated, bored, lonely, or any other emotion. You could be
Mhm.
stressed, and you just need to put something in your mouth to make yourself feel better because it tends to be a coping mechanism.
So there's times in some of those examples, well, kind of the early ones. I'm thinking of how you go to somebody's house and they went out of their way to make you brownies, and
Yes.
or like me, I travel. I'm about to go again to Nepal,
Oh,
so you're not rude to the culture.
right,
You'll
right.
stuff things in your mouth, or your neighbor. You get it. So that's not really what we're talking about, right? Because that's unusual circumstances.
They are unusual circumstances, but the idea is you don't want to be rude. Like
Mhm.
my mother-in-law likes to put food in front of me that I typically don't eat, but
Mhm.
because of my respect for her, I will eat it. It's
Mhm.
okay. I can recover from that. So
Right.
you're
But it,
kind of balancing your priorities.
yeah, it just can't be like every day. I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or
Right. Right. Yes,
then
exactly.
you kind of have to put your foot down. I remember we got into this habit of watching the Eagles game and with my mom, and we always had ice cream. And then I
Mm.
started eating healthy, and I learned that I really shouldn't do dairy. So I
Mm.
stopped eating that ice cream, and um, yeah, at first my mom's like, "You're being too strict," but then she saw that how much better I felt. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she was fine with that.
Yeah. Well, and there are a lot of foods that are associated with specific activities.
Hmm.
I mean, holidays are a big one, right?
Yeah.
Um, and those foods need to be traditional and in the way we've always had them. This is great Aunt Susie's recipe, and this is the way we do it. And if it's not that, it's not right. And it's like, okay,
And
sometimes you don't.
church meetings.
Church meetings, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to offend the old dears, right? You want to give them the respect and honor they deserve, but it
Mhm.
we have to figure out then how do we recover from that? How do we put ourselves back into the space that is good for our bodies? Now, if you're allergic to something or your body doesn't do dairy, that's a whole different situation.
Mm.
I mean, you
Yeah.
won't find a peanut in any children's wing anywhere anymore,
Right.
right?
Right.
So there's some of those kinds of things that are totally appropriate.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
other things we just have to manage through.
Hmm. Yeah. So tell us about that. What enlighten us on how we can control our emotional eating.
We got to find what's driving the behavior
Okay.
because emotional eating tends to be something in our inner world is unregulated, right?
Okay.
We are sad, we're emotional, we're upset, we're frustrated, we don't know what to do with whatever it is we're feeling, and we'll just eat something
Hmm.
because, when a baby comes into the world, if it wasn't sucking its thumb in utero, it will probably do so at some point before it goes to school, right? So when a baby cries, we tend to put something in its mouth, whether it's the bottle or the breast or a pacifier, just to give that soothing mechanism a place to go.
Hmm.
I've seen some mothers just put their little
Finger.
finger
Yeah.
in the mouth because the baby just wants comfort.
Mm.
We never unlearn that. It's a natural soothing thing. We just have to find a different way to soothe it. I've heard some people say, just put your tongue up against the roof of your mouth, or go find your partner and kiss them. Or some people you use a pen. Not necessarily the best thing to be chewing on pen caps, but people do it. But when we go to pizza and ice cream and that sort of thing, it is soothing. But if I can be chaplain here for a minute, it's not what God had in mind for us. Right? He wants us to come to him for that soothing.
Mm.
Sometimes what we're actually looking for is life and life abundant, but we'll take a Twinkie in the moment
Yeah.
because it does the job quick.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just has repercussions that we're not crazy about.
Yeah. It's good. So I think the principle that you're sharing is very helpful. How do we get there? You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
I don't like personally Twinkies, so that wouldn't work for me. But how?
Insert your favorite snack cake.
There you go. Um, yeah. So how do you resist? Like, I mean, you said a few things: chew on a pen cap, or kiss your husband, or. But yeah, I mean, is that how you got your
That's,
weight down? Is that how you recommend, or is there something more?
oh, there's definitely something more. I mean, any emotional eating coach will tell you you've got to calm your nervous system. You might want to do some sort of brain hack and you replace the habit. That's basis, right?
Okay, say them again.
Calming your nervous system.
All right, so you're going to tell us how in a moment. Okay.
That could be deep breathing.
Yeah, my daughter talked about this. She was on the show a while ago, not too long ago. Look up Joanna Coral, and she did a whole section on um, your your vagus nerve, you
Yeah,
know. And
yeah,
so you can go back and listen to that. Okay, calm your
yeah.
nervous system. Next.
Do some brain hacks. That can be reframing, that can be meditation, that can be prayer, that can be anything that changes where your mind is in that moment. You can
Okay.
read scripture,
Or
renew
changing
your
your
mind,
focus.
changing your focus. Yeah.
It's
And
so
then,
funny because if you think, okay, I'll go watch a fun TV show, but then they have all these obnoxious advertisements for pizza and all these things.
yes, they know you're vulnerable, see?
Yeah. All right. What's the third one?
Replace the habit.
Hmm.
So when I am walking to the kitchen, I turn and go out the back door. Or Um, I used this.
To
You see what that?
pacify y'all if you're
It's a
not
pacifier.
watching video.
And
Okay.
you see the blue tape on it?
Yeah.
That was because it was taped to my refrigerator at just my height as a pattern interrupt. So that when I saw that, I thought, you're going to the refrigerator and you're looking for soothing, choose something else. So I was
Okay.
replacing the habit of opening the refrigerator door with, let's go do something else. So
Okay.
but that's just the surface stuff,
Okay.
right? If you want to change this forever, we got to go a little deeper. And I like to do that through the mode of identity. There was a book that came out a number of years ago called The Purpose-Driven Life, and we all want to
Mm,
believe we're on the purpose-driven life, but unfortunately, so much more we are on an identity-driven life. And it could be an identity we picked up on the playground at school or from a parent who we just couldn't meet their expectations or from
mhm.
a boss. But if we get our identity settled in truth, then it's easier. Now, the simplest way to do that is say, I am a woman who makes good food choices. For Christians, I am a child of God who always looks to my Father for peace and comfort. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about identity and Crown of Beauty. So, and a lot of affirming it's not just positive thinking.
No.
It's actual truth from God's word that,
Yes.
like you said, a key one. I'm a child of God, that I have been given amazing calling to love others, to help others, to be an ambassador, to be a royal
Mm-hmm.
priest, to pray
Mm-hmm.
for others, to be
Mm-hmm.
a healer for others, to be
Mm-hmm.
kind to others. He's given me gifts to do that. And he has a calling on my specific calling, and will with certain people, communities. Um, there's this. I'm chosen. I'm special. I'm valued.
Mm.
Worth. I have great worth in his eyes. I am precious and honored in his sight. These are all the kind of things that we talk about in our talks. But yeah, as you're saying that, I've um, had a bit of a running to the cupboard lately. And my
Yeah.
daughter said, put a sign in there that says stop grazing. I had it in my refrigerator, but I realized no, I tend to do it in the cupboard. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, we
but
do. We learn this.
yeah, but it's interesting because I've had a rough week,
Mm.
where like a relationship thing, and where you feel like, wow, I'm not loved, or I'm not special, or I'm not accepted, or I'm not valued, whatever it is that
Yeah.
somebody um not necessarily they caused it, you caused it, it triggered you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of, like you said, your past. And so I
Well,
got triggered and I wanted to run to those foods, just like you said.
the concept of chaos.
Explain.
Okay, so in Genesis 1, the Spirit of God is hovering over the deep.
Hmm.
We always talk about that as if that was God created something out of nothing. Well, the deep was already there and he was hovering over it. And what he did was he brought order out of the
Mm,
chaos of that,
okay. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And he put Adam and Eve there to bring order outside, to expand the garden, to bring order and beauty to the world.
Hmm.
Sometimes we just need a little order in the midst of our chaotic lives. And when we have conflicts or difficulties in relationships in particular, it creates chaos in our
Hmm.
hearts and our minds. And we've got to bring that chaos back under control to bring peace and order because, there are a lot of people who struggle with anxiety.
Mhm.
And the absence of anxiety is not peace, it's order.
Mm.
So when you're feeling, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm going to put something in my mouth because that's the child response to it.
You feel out of control.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. So we need to
Maybe because
bring,
of that relationship, maybe because of your finances, maybe your kids, they're out of control. Maybe your house, it's a disaster, it's a mess. So it feels
yes,
like chaos. I kept thinking of that. Like if I just clean up, my daughter suggested this, clean up your bed. My bed is my work. It's not my bed, it's the office bed. It's a workspace, and it's like clean that up, organize that. It'll lower your stress,
yes.
and that's what you're saying. When you have more calm in your life, you're not as apt to run to those comfort foods,
Well,
correct?
you don't need the comfort as much.
Mm, yeah.
So then it's just a habit, not a signal, because emotionally eating is a signal of the problem.
Mm,
It's not the problem itself.
okay.
It's the messenger. There's something going on that has you in a tiz, and we got to find that. It's driving the behavior bus.
Yeah.
And if we can figure out what that is, we can take the keys back.
So that's where prayer is very helpful.
Yes. Yes. And resting in who
Mhm.
we are in our relationship to God. If we get anchored in that, then we immediately run there. It's like, Papa, I need you.
Yeah. But some of it too is, you said resting. I'm like, we need sleep. And if we don't get
Mm,
enough sleep, which I'm definitely in that season of life, that wonderful age where women often struggle with that.
yes.
Um, and we
Me
feel
too.
so tired,
Mm,
right? Then we know our body knows that certain things will bring temporary energy, whether it's a cup of coffee or a candy bar or an orange. But, um, what then we run to that before. I like how the whole idea of run to God first. We talk about this in one of our messages and ask Him what to do about your energy low. Is He
yes.
saying take a nap? Is He saying eat an orange? That's a healthy thing. Or eat some protein.
Mm,
Or is He
mm,
saying go take a walk? Or
mm,
is He saying go engage on the phone with your favorite person? Which in my
mhm,
case is my daughter. Or go
mhm.
play with your dog, you know, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
kind of what we're saying. Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a client earlier and she was like, I want to go to the gym or I want to go for a walk, but I'm just too tired.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'll just get up and go, I said, yes, because energy renews itself.
Yeah, I really see that. Amen to that. Unless
Yeah.
it's freezing cold out.
You're in
So
Canada, bless you.
actually, I'm not. I don't know why Zoom says that, but I'm in Philadelphia and it's been so cold.
Cold enough,
And
definitely.
yes, and then I take the dog out and I'm just tired.
Yeah.
My husband are like way more tired because your body's fighting for heat. Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so it
It's
uses up a
generating.
lot of energy.
Yes. Just like your heating, your
Yeah.
heater at home, it takes a lot of energy to get it going and to get the home warm. And then, thankfully it doesn't feel tired,
Yeah.
but
So
we
what
use
would
a lot
you
of energy.
suggest? Like when you genuinely need energy, like you had a bad night and you have a lot of work to do.
Mm.
Um, is it do you feel like having a list of healthy snacks or healthy foods or high protein, or I don't know, you can tell me what's best, like that it's not like sometimes it's I don't know if that's comfort eating necessarily or just like what you need to get through the day, or like is it ever okay to have a hard-boiled egg in the afternoon? Or I remember coach saying that once, eat a hard-boiled egg. So protein. What
It's
do you
a
think? Is
well,
snacking always wrong? Is what I'm asking.
is it wrong? I wouldn't say it's wrong, but here's what I know
Okay.
about putting something in your mouth.
Okay.
When you put something in your mouth, the pancreas says, incoming. So they send insulin through your body to balance out your blood sugar. It's supposed to do that. The only problem for me is that when there's insulin flowing through your body, your fat cells close and will not release. They can take in, but they will not release. I want my fat cells releasing all the time, right? So a snack is sometimes very important, but that stopped my generalized snacking in its tracks because I thought most of the time it's not hunger that's driving the snack.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's something like boredom or, oh, I'm just passing by and there it is. I'll pick it up as I go.
Yeah.
But also know that then I'm going to raise my blood sugar, which is going to stop me from releasing any fat.
Do all foods raise your blood sugar?
Yes.
Okay. So we're
Some don't
talking
do it as
about
much.
okay, we're talking about if you are wanting to lose weight,
Right.
then in between meals is what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Is is going to make it difficult. Even throwing a handful of nuts into your mouth, which are good for you. Okay.
Yes.
So is there
Not to
any
say you can't do it, but just
okay.
be aware because my belief is that every body
Mm-hmm.
does well on one kind of nutrition.
What does that
It's different for me. It might be different for you, but everybody has a nutrition style that works for them. It's when we try to
mean?
put everybody on the same one that we run into trouble,
Okay.
right? I lost my weight on a low fat, low calorie diet, and I
Mm-hmm.
was tired, hungry, and cranky all the time because it didn't fit my body.
Mm.
But once I learned what did fit my body, then I wasn't tired, I wasn't hungry, and I certainly wasn't cranky. And my husband was like, I don't know what you've been doing this week, but let's do more of this. Right? So finding what works for your body
Mm.
is essential. What works for me does not work for my cousin, right? But it may work for someone else. It works all diets work. It just depends on how hungry you end up being and how cranky you might be.
And we want to the problem with a lot of diets is that it's not teaching you a long-term
Right,
plan of how to eat.
right.
So it's better to just move into healthy eating, right?
Or to have a plan for how to sustain yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I have not changed my nutrition since I lost my weight,
But
right?
are you on the same amount of calories as when
No,
you were
exactly.
okay?
It's the same food.
Mm-hmm. Just less
It's
of it
it's
or more of it, a
I
little
get a
more,
little, but not like a
not a
thousand
lot.
calories more. This is the thing.
Yeah.
We think I can have anything I want now, which is how we got
Mm-hmm.
into trouble to start with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So finding your levels, and
Mm-hmm.
I always say every diet works, but you have to find what specifically works for you that you can sustain long term. Because if you don't learn what helps you with maintenance, you're just back on the diet yo-yo again.
Yeah, and there's more than being at a certain weight, right?
Yes.
There's you can be thin or look really great, but eat horribly. Um, we've been
Yeah.
watching the show Everybody Loves Raymond, and they're doing
Yes.
reruns, and they're all the right weight, but they eat. Now I know it's just a show. Who knows? That could be possible, but they eat fast food every single meal.
Mm.
And what's going to happen is bad. They're going to
Yeah.
have all kinds of inflammation and,
Mm.
you know, diabetes and all kinds of things. Yeah.
Mm. Do you know what I find really sad about fast food? Is that we think it tastes good, which means our palate is so out of whack that we don't even know what good food tastes like. And you don't, I had a friend, actually Canadian from Prince Edward Island, and she said she just couldn't do fast food. I was like, really? She said, it has no flavor. I said, really? She said, you start eating good food, real food, and
Hmm.
you will begin to see that it doesn't have any flavor to it. And dog it, she was right.
Okay. Yeah. It you have to adjust. I know. I had cancer back in 2018,
And I'm
and
sorry.
so the doctors were like, "Do not eat sugar again," because it's breast cancer, and you don't want it to come in the other breast, right? So like,
Right.
do not eat sugar. So I cut
Yeah.
it out of my diet, and
Mm.
then sure enough, it things that to nobody else in my family taste sweet will taste sweet to me,
Yes.
and
It's
it's like, oh,
amazing.
that's too sweet. I don't know, something. Oh, my brother made something with a meat dish. It was yummy, but with honey. And I was like, oh, you could kind of cut back on the amount of honey. And they're all
Mm.
like, really? you know?
Yes. Yeah, when I came back from the UK, American sweet and British sweet are very different. And I was my teeth hurt for the
Mm,
first month or so because it was like, this is so incredibly sweet.
yeah. So you can definitely change your body.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also noticed I've been eating more salads, right, for the
Mhm,
roughage.
mhm.
But at first, my stomach it was like gassy. I remember asking my former health coach, and she's like, "You'll get used to it,"
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what's happened. So
Mm.
sometimes it just takes time, or a lot of the I made this mistake too. You go on a supplement, and they'll tell you the directions. Will say like, take one for the first month, or and then you can go to two, and I'm like, ah, I'll be fine. And no, I wasn't fine. Because it's
No.
weird how your body, even the healthy things,
Mm,
can take
mm,
time, right, to
mm.
adjust.
Well, and it, we're taught to eat things, but we don't know that it works for our bodies. Like
Mm,
after I lost my weight, I was trying to maintain my weight loss because I felt really good at that point. And I thought I can't do low fat anymore. I've got to, this is not working for me.
mm,
And I did what I now call my unique nutrition blueprint. And it said, you need more protein and fat in your life. And I was like, fat? I've been trying to avoid fat for 20 years. But I started following the nutrition plan they gave me. I lost 2 pounds in the first week,
mhm,
and I wasn't tired. I wasn't hungry, and I certainly wasn't cranky. So it also gave me a food list.
yeah.
And I found that if I avoided certain foods for a long time and then tried to go back to them, like broccoli was a staple of my life,
Mm,
but it does a number on my body.
okay.
So I
But
can't
it
do that
is
anymore.
typically a recommended
Yes,
vegetable. So I think that's
absolutely.
what you're saying. Different. Yeah,
Different bodies, different
definitely
foods.
have food sensitivities. We all
Mm,
do. And the last coach I had, she has you take that food sensitivity
mm,
test, and I'm like, really? I shouldn't eat this, or eat less often. And yeah, I was
yeah,
surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the more you know about your body, the more you can avoid those unpleasant consequences.
Yeah, you're bringing up a whole topic of beginning to pay attention more to your body.
Hmm.
I mean, I just didn't do that. I was an athlete, and the only thing you paid attention to is, did I abuse my body enough today so that I'll be stronger tomorrow? And so
Yeah.
I just, it's so hard because coaches will be like, what is your body telling you? I'm like, I have no idea. Do you have any suggestions for that? Like, how do we begin to tune into our body better?
Yeah, because we just don't take the time to do that. I mean, most people, when they come to me, they say, aren't you going to just give me a diet and an exercise program?
Mhm.
No, no, because that's just the surface. The only way, I think, is to practice it. Practice, okay, what did I have today? How do I feel? Do I feel better? Do I feel worse? After a meal at some fast food place, how do I feel? Do I want to continue feeling that way? Do I have more gas after this or not? Do I feel satisfied? But we have to slow down
Yeah. Was
and
I
actually,
hungry 2 hours later, or 1 hour later, or 5 hours later?
did I have enough energy to get through the
Yeah.
day? Am I
Yeah.
tired in the mornings? What did I have yesterday that might be triggering that?
And when I ran to that snack, what was going on?
Always. That's always a
So
good question.
a journal is helpful, a food
Yeah.
journal. I did a sleep journal for a month, about maybe it's longer, maybe 2 months. And yeah, that actually really helped me. I definitely started seeing patterns. If I do
Mm,
this, it makes a difference. If I don't do this, it makes a difference. If I, not just the typical look at screens, but even if I have a conversation about money, forget it. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep.
mm,
There are different kind of unique things. If I
mm.
I could watch a show, but it has to be something that doesn't have suspense, or I'm like,
Yeah.
want to watch another, and I don't know, things like that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. My husband would love it if I would watch with him all the car crashes and gore and I'm like, Lev, my sleep is awful as it is. Don't give
Hmm.
me fodder for my dreams.
I don't know how men do it.
Well,
Honestly.
they're wired differently to
Yeah,
us.
truly.
But
Truly.
I had to cut out certain types of television, music, all of that.
Yeah.
Partly because I have very vivid dreams. I don't need any help.
Yeah.
But also because it affects us spiritually.
For sure.
It puts things in our minds that aren't meant to be there.
Yeah, I think, yeah, for them it might maybe gives a rush sense of power. For us, I think it creates fear.
Yes.
You find
And we
yourself
don't need
walking
any more.
around the neighborhood thinking, and you see a shadow, turns out to be your own. That's happened to me. And I'm just like, why is there a shadow here? And I live in a really safe neighborhood. But
Mm,
still, I think it's those shows that,
mm.
yeah,
Doesn't help, does it?
even mild ones like Monk or Psych, it's even those ones can get to me. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are there any other tips that you have to help us with calming our nervous system? I kind of skipped over and said go back to Joanna's, but you might have some suggestions that didn't come up in other shows.
Well, we typically seek out what we need. So when you need to recharge, where do you go? What do you do? Some people need to go be with people. Some people need to go take a walk in a crowded area, and some need to take a walk quietly. Some need to be alone to recharge. But those are the things that we do when we know we need recharging and rest. We know we need our nervous system. I mean, deep breathing is a huge one because it just automatically calms us. Prayer, meditation, sitting in a quiet room with the lights off, maybe some calm music. Don't do upbeat music when you need to calm because it doesn't necessarily work unless you're wired that way.
Yeah, turning down the lights in the house, like having a how you call it, slow down, chill out
Yeah.
uh into the evening. So
Mm-hmm.
when you hit say 8 o'clock, if you can, and turning the lights lower if you can. I know it's hard. These things are so difficult when you have young kids or teenagers or whatever, but
But
yeah.
still.
Hmm.
And I've noticed, I mean, dogs can be really helpful.
Mine is.
Cats, because of the way they purr, that's always very calming. And watching fish in an aquarium is apparently hypnotic. But
Yeah.
anything that allows your breathing to slow down will help you.
Hmm.
Because we just get so uptight. Our shoulders are hunched, or we're hunched over, or whatever. We're protecting, physically protecting ourselves. And we need
Hmm.
to, get them back, take a deep breath, and just chill for a second.
Hmm.
Doesn't have to be anything major.
So
Three deep breaths will do it.
I guess I'm jumping to the replace the habit, but did you also change what foods you were buying? I know you talked a lot about,
Yeah.
when you eat, that kind of thing, but how about what you eat?
Yeah. I changed a lot because I went to a more low carb idea because my
Okay.
body doesn't do well on carbs. I burn
Hmm.
through them so quickly, it makes me hungry.
Mm.
So I mean, Mr. Jones still lives here, so I buy things for him, but I put things for him above my eye level in the pantry or the refrigerator,
Mm.
and I put mine right at my eye level. So it's the first thing I see.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I changed how I cooked. I got rid of all of the vegetable oils, all the seed
Hmm.
oils, and we use like avocado and coconut oil.
Olive.
Olive, thank you. I couldn't come
Hmm.
up with it. Um,
Hmm.
I switched from low fat milk to whole milk. Um,
Okay.
just all kinds of things that I could
Hmm.
eat that I had been avoiding for years.
Like
I
what?
like whole milk. I was
Okay.
on skim milk. It was like this is kind of disgusting. It's kind of blue, but it's what I can have. So, and full fat cheeses. Um, I I make the most wonderful bread. Men have bowed before me for the bread that I make, but I can't eat it
Mm.
because it really does a number on me. So, um, when I have a meal, I'll have what and cooking for Mr. Jones, you understand. So we'll have a meat, we'll have a vegetable, and he gets an added potato or rice or pasta or bread or whatever. So that we're eating together. We're still all the same. He just gets extra because he's a bigger guy
Hmm.
than I am.
Hmm.
So sometimes I even changed my snacks. I went over to Greek yogurt because it has more protein in it. And I started making my own because
Hmm.
it's just so good. So I do a lot more cooking now than I did before, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think adding a lot of herbs too is
Mm-hmm.
helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Flavor. Yeah.
my men, all men in the house, they are doing better
Yeah.
because I've changed
Yeah.
the way I cook. I think now I can't always just because of time. Often I'll buy the Indian sauces or the Thai sauces, but when you can, if you make it
Mm.
fresh,
Mm.
it's always better. And
Mm.
the less canned food. I didn't write it down. I mean I did write it down in front of me, but my daughter was talking about we want to try to avoid metals getting
Yes.
into our body because they get
Yeah.
into your brain and they're
Mm.
seeing a connection with um, you know brain disorders.
Yeah.
It was there's it's three initials. Can you remember? It's like PBA or I can't remember. There's if
Yes.
you look on the can. Did I
Yeah.
say them right?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, amazing. Okay, so if you
Well
look
done.
on the if you look on the cans, so I was saying our canned beans are legumes are really good for you, right? Um, my body, it's interesting you're saying it's about you have to know your body because lentils, for example, are supposed to be good for you, but every time I eat lentils, I don't do great,
Yeah.
so
Then you
I don't
don't need to eat them no matter how good they
exactly
might be for someone else.
right.
Yeah.
But with the beans, I said, should you always get the dried ones? And she did research and found that some of the nutrition properties can be higher in a canned one, but
Mhm.
you do need to wash the salt out of it or get low salt, but also check for that PBA.
Mm,
That means that there's the metals. I don't know if they make the cans different, I guess, so that the metals are not releasing into the food. It's
mm,
kind of
mm.
interesting.
Yeah.
So doing
Yeah.
research is helpful, right? They're coming out with more and more.
You can learn so many things and then you can get paralysis from it.
Yeah, overwhelmed.
It's just
Yeah,
so much information and so many things we just don't realize.
right. But I
Yeah.
think having health coaches like yourself, or like I'll do a plug for Joanna Coral.
There you
hers
go.
hers is
Absolutely.
called Peace, like, you know, peace,
Mm.
um, Peace of Lavender,
Oh,
PEACE. Yeah. So
nice.
yeah, but yeah, I just find she does so much good research for you. It's
Mm.
really helpful for whatever
Mm.
conditions you have. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that about you guys, you coaches, is that it's not just sitting and talking to you, and you have training, but you also do research for us
Yeah.
according to what we're discovering from our bodies. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. So if they pick up your book, tell us the name again, where they can find it,
It's
and
called
what they'll get out of it.
What's Really Eating You? Overcome the Triggers of Comfort Eating. And I wrote it partly just to give some information, but at the end of each chapter, there are some questions to consider so you can, have something to focus on at the end to see what you learned from that chapter or what you might need to take with you. Um, it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. The audiobook is available on Audible.
Okay.
As I think it's also on like Chirp and a few other places like that. So just do a search and the audio version will come up as well.
Okay. That's great. So as they read that, they're going to learn especially about emotional eating,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And are they going to hit on these three: calming your nervous system, uh,
Not
juice?
overtly.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of the underlying thing that most are doing, but there are there are chapters on um, how we get here. There are chapters on um, holy days and holidays, resolutions. There are two chapters that my editor made me rewrite because the first one was called diet, and my entire chapter was pick one. And then there was one called exercise, and it was do some. She said, no, you're going to need to give them a little more. Said, okay, fine.
Yeah, and I think we said it, but I'll reiterate it, that okay, you can maybe lose weight on any diet, but it doesn't mean it's healthy for you, because some diets then really deplete your body of
Mm,
certain nutrition that you need, and you'll
mm,
start having other problems. So
mm.
just be aware of that. I think the best thing is just learning to eat really healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I have to say, I've been on a tear of late, and it's anytime someone tells you it's just one thing,
Mm,
that's probably marketing.
mm,
Like, I've seen a lot of ads for the gelatin trick,
okay. Yeah,
public
I saw
service
that.
announcement. It that Don't worry about that. If this is the one thing you've been missing for years, the apple cider vinegar, the cabbage soup, all of those things, just know that that's more marketing than truth.
Yeah, sad but true.
Sad but true.
And people will literally just lie to make money and represent things, as sad as that is.
Yeah, bless them.
Well, yeah, well, thank you, Renee, for all these helpful tips. And I'm sure y'all are enjoying this. And, we've had several shows back, I think 3 summers ago. I did several. And then I've been doing several again and here and there, because I just think we need to take care of our whole bodies so that we can help take care of others in our world. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Renee, thank you. Is there any way they can get a hold of you if they want to contact
Sure.
you?
Sure. If they'd like a gift, they can go to reneelive.com. And my general website is reneejonesinternational.com.
Okay. You're not going to tell us what the gift is, huh?
The gift is a guide. It's a PDF guide and there are a couple of things in there that were fun that I just created, and it's like emotional eating bingo. And it's
Okay.
how many different ways we justify that. And
Okay.
then the second one is things we can do instead.
Okay. Great. And that's reneelive.com.
Live.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. And thanks all for joining me, and look forward to being with you again next week.